In this video, I will give you an introduction to the Dynamics 365 F&O license automation solution. This is a solution I shared on my blog page. It consists of Power Automate flows to be able to automatically assign licenses in Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Instead of a manual assignment, an automatic assignment can save a lot of time. You can find all information on my website on dynamicspedia.com/license-automation. Then you land on this page where it will provide you a small overview, which flows are currently provided as part of this solution, and I will also work on enhancements of them. Then a list with current assumptions, known issues, limitations, and on some of the limitations I'm already working to see if we can improve the solution for future use. And at the bottom of the page you will find additional resources like an installation and configuration guide, but also a link to download the solution, which is available for free on my website. Now, if you installed the solution correctly, then you will have, after all configurations, 3 Power Automate flows, 1 base, 1 running for all users, and 1 for an automatic role assignment change triggered by changes in finance operations. And let's start with the base one. This base flow can run standalone and runs for a single user only. And it's also possible to use this one as a child flow for other parent flows, just like running it for all users or based on any other trigger. Now, ensure that before you run the flow, that the list row license table Excel file is linked to a valid location in your environment. And also, as part of the configuration, you need to provide information in this file based on some license information from your Dynamics 365 environment. Now let's start the flow. I will use the user Benjamin as demo. So provide the user Benjamin, run flow, and if you look at the user details, Benjamin itself does have some licenses, but that's only related to Microsoft 365, Power Automate, and Teams. So if you look at the information here, no Dynamics 365 licenses are assigned currently. When you look at the license usage summary in Finance Operations, the user Benjamin requires a supply chain management license. This is also visible on the Power Platform admin report, where if you dive into the details, for example, on the supply chain management, when you search for the user Benjamin, it's on the bottom here. It is requiring a license and it's currently also missing the supply chain license. And when you look at the details or try to assign them manually, you see that as part of the flow run now already Dynamics 365 has been assigned. If you look at Benjamin, the details on the Microsoft 365 Admin Center portal, if we refresh it, then also here the supply chain license has been assigned. Now, if we go back to the report itself, the information has not been changed as this report is being refreshed every 4 till 12 hours. In my experience, in my tenant, it's now about every 6 hours. But as you have seen, the license has been assigned and it takes about maybe 5 minutes at a minimum to a maximum of 1 hour before the license is really effective for this Benjamin user. Now for a second demo, I will run this one for all users, and while running it, it will run now for just over 100 users, all users in finance and operations in my environment. While this is running, it will list all active users And for each user, it will call the base flow as a child. And for each user is highlighted here. It's running 10 flows in parallel, just to speed up the process. Every single run is per user is currently about 20 till 30 seconds. So for 100 users, it can take about 2.5, 3 minutes for the flow being ended. Now, if we go to the details for the base flow itself, you can also see in the flow run history that it's running for several users. And just one additional tip: if you want to know which flow is running for what user, you can manage this using edit columns, where all input parameters of the flow can be enabled as a column in the list. Now, after 3 minutes, when the flow is ready, then all licenses should be assigned. And initially, I had several licenses available, not assigned yet. But if we refresh this list, you'll see that according to running the flow, it already assigned licenses. And after the flow has run, you need to check if there are several licenses which are assigned more than you have available. And that's just because of the Power Automate flow runs in parallel. Then it might be the case that at the same time, for a different user, a license will be assigned, and that is not directly recognized that there are no licenses available anymore. So in this case, using the flow and over assignment is possible, but then you need to take some manual actions to correct this situation. If you have assigned more licenses than available, at that time you're also not compliant. Also, as part of this flow run, it will send an email. It's just coming in the moment we talk about. Click on it. This will give you a summary. In this case, it had checked 122 users and run for about 3 minutes. And it gives information if a license is required, yes or no, or what license is required. Now for Benjamin, this was already assigned because I ran the flow before. But for operations activity for Christina, for example, she needs an operations activity, but I don't have that one available in my tenant. And in case if it has been assigned correctly, just like here for Arnie, then it says that the license has been assigned. Now, at the bottom of this email, there's also an additional summary, what to do next. At least you need to check for the possibility where there are more licenses assigned to users than you had available. And there's a link to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. And also after the report has been refreshed, you can check in the Power Platform Admin Center if everything is assigned or if you need to do any manual actions, like maybe reassigning particular licenses, or maybe you should acquire more licenses in your tenant. Now let's go to the third demo for the last flow. And before you can run that flow, you should provide in the variable tenant ID a valid value of your tenant. This is also described in the installation and configuration guide. Once that has been done, you can enable the flow. And when you enable it, the license automation for the role assignment will be automatically triggered. So if you go to finance operations, if we look at, for example, Christina, I also saw her in the email. She currently needs an operations activity license. If we go to the user details, click on assign roles. Let's assign an accountant role today. Click on OK. Now the accountant role has been added. If we go to the Power Automate flow, we can see the run details. Now if we refresh the flow runs, you'll see also that the Power Automate flow is triggered, and it will now just go to Christina, search for details, what licenses are now required, included the new role, what license do I have available, and if available, the license will also be assigned to Christina. Let's go to Christina, licenses, and we see that also now Christina has a finance license assigned. As mentioned in the introduction, these Power Automate flows are available for free on my website. Then you can go for more information to Dynamicspedia.com. Feel free to read all the information, download it, and if you have any feedback, please provide also feedback via a contact form on my blog page, and I will just also improve the Power Automate flows in the future. I hope you liked this demo. Until next time. Bye bye.